There are companies literally auditioning and hiring actors to portray lies.
What she goes on to explain is that she's interviewing for these roles. She's an actress in, I guess, some TV shows. I didn't look them up, but she's auditioning for roles right now where they are casting social media influencers, only they're not. It's to trick the masses into believing certain narratives. So because the media and Hollywood and religion have started to fail in doing so, and people are waking up to that, they are now going to where the people are getting their news, and they are hiring people to pretend to be a certain type of person, a certain type of family. They are paying big influencers to start pushing political narratives because those other systems, media, Hollywood, religion, etc., are failing to do so. That's why it's more important than ever to use your discernment and identify what truth is for yourself. So she goes on again to explain that what the social media, what they've been tasked to do is pretend to be a certain person. You make up a name, you make up like a family story, whatever it is, and you're playing this part on social media to push certain narratives or agendas or products. And if you go out in your personal life and you recognize, you're supposed to just deny it, because you're literally creating a completely different persona in order to push a narrative. You have to be so careful these days, you guys, on where you feel like you're getting your truth, your news, your information. If someone is bringing fear in their messages, it's not for you. If you're starting to feel like certain influencers are changing what you believe or pushing certain narratives, you need to take note and start to identify using your discernment if it's for you. Discernment is more important than ever. They are going out of their way. This pyramid of control, here I have a whole playlist on this. The pyramid of control with the CEOs at the top. I call them the CEOs of the planet. We've got mid-level, low-level management. Low-level management is politics, country leaders, kings, queens, etc. They're low-level management, okay? We have a couple of high-level management people maybe in some of that, or mid-level in some of that, but most of them is low-level. These entities up here are the ones pushing all the narratives down. To them, there are no countries. It's only for us. To them, they're running the world in a way that we don't even have any idea behind the scenes. The 4 pillars of control that are controlling the planet that they've created to make us believe we're certain things, to make us believe we're disempowered, that we have to live a certain way, are banking and finances, political structures, Western meds, and education, which they say is these groups of beings that I channel say it's the worst. I'm a channel. I channel groups of cosmic beings that are here to help us in our human journey. And I channel the reasons for your experiences, what you're meant to be doing, mission and purpose. I have channeled anything from autism to finding missing animals. But what I love to channel, what they've had me do, is start sharing with you guys the truth of what's going on here to help you navigate now and upcoming years as truth starts to unfold and disclosure is starting to be dripped out. So the glue that holds all these together is law. Think law enforcement, court, lawyers, types of that. Religion, Hollywood, what was created when religion started failing, and the media. And now that religion, media, and Hollywood are kind of failing to push these agendas, they're hiring social media people to do that, people for social media to do that, to push political agendas, health agendas, okay? Agendas about these main topics, because these are the topics that keep everything contained, they keep everything controlled for these world controllers, for the pyramid of control, okay? She even goes on to say that they are being hired to push political agendas specifically. So have you ever noticed that whenever, every 4 years in this country, I have to be careful with my words here, every 4 years in this country, there's a big campaign to put someone in charge, right? That's just an example, but think back over big times like that. Certain people start coming out of the woodwork and pushing a specific narrative. It's always the same narrative. You might hear one person or 2 people push maybe something a little bit different. That's really risky for them, and most likely they're not big stars. They're not big contenders. They're not part of the elite or the wealthy. The elite or the wealthy have signed contracts that in exchange for fame and fortune, they will do certain things. Some of them, the higher you rise in fame and fortune, the more nefarious things that you're doing. One of the things that you're doing everyone has to sign, is that you will push certain agendas. Do you ever wonder why people that you feel close to because you're watching them on TV and you feel like you have a connection, why aren't they pushing positive agendas? Why aren't they pushing a different agenda than their narrative? It's because they're not allowed to. They could lose it all if they do that. It's all manipulation. It's all controlled. You cannot get your, you have to be very, very, very careful about being pulled into and sucked into believing certain things based on what you see out there. The best thing to do is to turn it all off and start creating your world from your own place. Don't listen to anything that anyone's listening to. Don't watch anything on the news. If you have a couple of creators that you want to follow that are sharing positive messages, maybe stick to that. Watch when you scroll. The best thing to do is turn it all off and watch your entire reality shift. Everything in this 4 pillars of control and the global pyramid is meant to hijack you. Okay, so now they've moved to social media. So be very, very careful about this. I was following someone. It was just, sometimes I follow people just I'm interested in their content. Some of them are very, very smart researchers, and it's just interesting sometimes. I also am very, very careful about what I watch. Even though I know it's all fake, sometimes I feel myself getting pulled into and feeling low vibrational, so I have to turn it off. That's the point of all of it, to manipulate your emotions. We create this reality based on what we believe, based on what we envision, and what we feel. So why do you think everything is pushed towards bringing us down, hating each other, division? It's to control us. Okay, give it up. Don't let them take it from you anymore. There was this creator I was following. Can't remember what his name is. I'm not going to call him out, but he has a lot of followers, a million followers, maybe between 600,000 and a million followers. He's known for kind of talking really loud and yelling and sharing personal stories. I noticed last year, about summertime, he started getting very political, pushing a very specific agenda. And then I saw a picture with him, with the person who was in charge of the country last summer at the White House, with some other big social media influencers. I channeled it. I never made a video or posted it, but I channeled it and I saw that's what they were doing. They're the powers that were, low-level management who report up to the CEOs, they are infiltrating social media now because these other ways are failing to control people. So these big social media influencers are now being paid and sometimes threatened and manipulated. There's another social media creator on this app that is a family member of kind of a well-known dark family who is publicly sharing that he's being threatened for his to push certain agendas and for what he's sharing. So not only are people getting paid, they're also getting threatened to stop sharing truth. That's why it's so important to go inward and use discernment, okay? We all have the ability to connect to our higher self or our higher guidance for discernment. I have a free guide on my website if you want to download that. I also have the New Earth Collective, that doors are opening to this private membership community. Go read about it on my website. I also have a video showing you behind the scenes and the Circle app where I've built the community uncensored. I have sub-communities, sub-chat groups in there to talk about. One of them is 3D, what's happening in the 3D. Support in redistributing wealth from the systems of control into the hands of people who are here to make good or create the new earth, conscious parenting, holistic health, etc. It's time that we come together and start learning how to really tap in and discern what truth is, because they're pulling out all the stops right now, guys. Go watch the rest of the girl's video and would love to hear what your thoughts are about this. What are you doing to protect your mind? That is where the hijacking comes from. What are you doing to set boundaries in your life? What are you letting go of and shifting and changing that's causing you to be in low vibrations? And what are you starting to do in your life that's causing you to raise your vibrations? What hobbies are you taking on? How much are you turning off TV and screens? How much more are you going back to the 80s and 90s to play games with your kids instead of relying on screens to do that? All kinds of things are being pushed through technology these days, and what they're saying right now, these guys at the channel, is the best thing you do is turn it off. When you turn it off, watch your life completely shift, because you'll start creating what it is that you want based on what you see and how you feel about that. And you'll start to see your entire reality change, versus allowing these systems to manipulate what you believe and how you feel and then create more of that in this reality. So drop your questions and comments. Would love to hear from you. Come back to this video if you watch that other girl's video. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll see you in the next one.